I just wanted to apologise for not uploading anything for like a week. My laptop decided to blow up halfway through editing a video and I didn't get it back for what seemed like 150 years, but it's all up and working now. The only thing is my memory card is still at the place where it got fixed, so I am stuck with my rubbish old 16GB memory card. The quality of this video is probably going to look like it's filmed with a potato, and also I'm having to film it in little chunks because there's not enough room to handle with all of my blabbering. Now, secondly, I'm also house sitting, hence why I'm in a really weird location. I'm also dog sitting, so there are 3 dogs and a cat and horses and chickens. So if I'm interrupted, it's probably because one of the animals needs me. Now I'm going to be house sitting for the next 3 weeks, so I'm pretty sure you're going to be seeing me in loads of different locations, but this is where I chose today because I have a lovely window and the sun is coming in straight at my face. So I wanted to talk to you about something which I made the other day. Now I just recently uploaded a video about making a bat cushion, and since then I've like totally caught the sewing bug. Now loads of you wanted me to upload loads of different craft videos, and I've had some amazing suggestions such as making Oogie Boogie from The Nightmare Before Christmas, so I'm really excited about making that. But I was having a little browse on the internet and I found something slightly similar. It's meant for children, but I thought that we, being young at heart, may be able to find some enjoyment in it too. So in this video I'm going to show you how I made this giant bat. Now I was actually looking through some bat protection companies and kind of looking if I could sponsor a bat. I was just kind of seeing what was going down on the internet, and I came across the National History Museum, and they have a little section where you can donate money. Now it doesn't necessarily go to bats, but you can like choose what you want your donation to go towards. Now, of course I noticed that they had a little tab to go on their shop, and me, I cannot turn down a shopping opportunity, so when I looked on their shop and I found they had a sew your own long-eared bat kit, so I was like, I need this. So basically I bought this kit from their website, and I also donated a little bit of money alongside it. So I was kind of helping the bats, but at the same time I was kind of getting a somewhat fun activity out of it. I have to admit, when I ordered this, all I could see was this lovely picture of a bat here and a tiny little sort of picture of what I'd be making, and I didn't quite realise how easy this is going to be. It was kind of like a 5-year-old's activity, yet somehow I still did it wrong. So this kit is mainly just for children, and it has loads of different things in it to sort of educate children about different bats and the problems that they are going through. And to be fair, a lot of this stuff I didn't really know myself. So inside we got everything we needed to make this lovely guy, and I have actually filmed the process of it. Now the instructions are absolutely dire. As you can see, they are just pictures of a bat slowly being made. So, you know, it's not the easiest to follow, and you probably see that I went wrong a few times, but I ended up working out in the end. It was pretty self-explanatory, and I did actually sew this with a kid's needle. It was one of these big plastic needles. So I guess this is something really fun to do if you perhaps want a really easy sewing job to do. Because it's really, really mindless. Like, it has little holes cut in it so that you just sew through the holes that are already there. Or if you have children or you're wanting to teach young people how to sew, it's a perfect sort of starting activity, and it's quite a nice little thing to make. I'm going to show you the video now of what I made and how I made it, and I will also do a little voiceover to explain what exactly is going on. So we started with the box. I just took everything out. Inside there was literally everything that you needed to make it. It had all the felt, some stuffing, the facts and the really bad instructions, and also some string, and also these plastic eyes. Now these plastic eyes look really good. I squeezed the first one on, which took about a quarter of an hour, and then I realised I'd done it wrong and I had to actually do it through the face. So I had to undo it completely and start again. It did take me literally about half an hour to try and squeeze the backs of these on. They just were completely the wrong fit, and I ended up really hurting my hand, but finally I got it on and it was all lined up. So then it was ready to sew. Now I used my own cotton because basically the thread that they gave me was really short and I wanted to double thread it, so that's why I'm using my own one, and it's a slightly different colour, but I think it gives it a little bit more dimension. It was super easy to sew because it already has holes in it, so it literally gives you a guideline. Once I'd done that, I then went on to the ears. So these little bits first need to be sewn onto the thicker, bigger ears, and again it was just a case of matching up the holes, so I just started right bang in the middle, and then it meant it was symmetrical and really easy to sew.
And I just repeated this for the other ear, and I think the yellow cotton looks quite nice in this, so I was quite pleased. I just kind of lined it all up, and then it was time to actually sew, you know, the body together. So I started right at the top with the head, and then I attached the ears by just slotting it in between like the body and the wings, and then I just went through and sewed, and it matched up quite nicely. There were a few holes that weren't actually properly punched through, so I did actually have to use scissors to try and get it through, but bear in mind I was using like a kid's needle, which was a really thick plastic, so it wasn't exactly the easiest needle, and for this part I just used one really long piece of thread. Putting the legs in was just as easy as the wings, and I just counted from the middle, like either side, to see where the other leg needed to go, and so it was slightly symmetrical. And then I was left with a little hole at the top, which is what I used to put the stuffing in. So with the hole I just sort of left the needle hanging down, and then I took the whole bag of stuffing and pretty much stuffed it all in, and then once I was finished I just sewed up the hole and continued sewing round, and it was super simple, and then my bat was finished.
I've noticed that the end of the footage cut out, and that's because my SD card is so tiny that it couldn't film the whole time, but basically I just sewed the top bit of its head and that was it. That is how I made this lovely bat, and I'm not quite sure where to put him at the moment. I'll probably put him on my bed when I get home, but at the moment he's just sitting in this slightly old looking room, and he just makes it feel a little bit more homely. Now, as I said, along with the actual rubbish instructions that they give you, I did also get 3 pages worth of really fun bat facts, which I thought I'd read you a couple, just, you know, in case you are interested about what we are educating our children. The first one, which is quite sort of self-explanatory, is that you most likely see bats at dusk and dawn. You can find bats in the countryside, towns and cities. Bats are most active in summertime. Some species hibernate during winter, while others remain active during the mild months, with more chance of seeing a bat when it is warmer and dry. And some bats fly high in the sky, some are lower flying, and some skim across water for insects. Then it goes into way too much detail about how to spot different types of bats and sort of what you're looking for when trying to identify a bat. If any of you are interested in any of this information, I will happily type it out for you. So just let me know if you are interested about how to identify your local bat. This is what blew me away. There are more than 1,100 species of bats. Now, in my head there was like 5 or 6, but there are literally thousands of species of bat, so that's great. But we've only got 18 in the UK because our country is obviously not very bat diverse. So something a little bit more serious now, which is the whole reason why I really made this video, other than the fact that I wanted to make a cute little bat, and that is because I'm very aware that bats are not doing great in our country, and there's lots of different things going around. I mean, Spooky Box Club did a Bat Protection League box. There's so many different charities for bats, and it is something to think about. Obviously, you know, there are hundreds and thousands of animals that do need our help, not just bats. I feel like our little bats may be getting slightly neglected just because a lot of people aren't too keen on them. Now, I'm talking for the UK here mainly, but the reason why our bats are dying out is because of the amount of houses and roads which are being built constantly. I don't know what it's like where you live, but I will drive past a field and the next day I drive past, there's half a house already built on it. So there's so much wildlife that's being sort of ruined just because people are building more houses and more roads, and of course this means that there's a decline of insects, which is primarily what the bats eat. And then also you've got the chemicals and the pesticides on our crops and the things that we're growing, which again kills the insects, so it kind of spoils the food for our bats, and hence why the number of bats in the UK is rapidly decreasing. And hopefully by donating this tiny bit of money, can help in some tiny way to try and keep the bats that we have healthy and happy. Now, I don't know if any of you are keen gardeners, but they have actually given me a list of plants that you can grow to encourage bats to come into your garden, because these plants specifically draw in the insects which the bats most need. So a few of these are just cornflower, oxeye daisy, honeysuckle, sweet william and wallflowers. There's loads of different ones, so again, if you are interested, just ping me a comment and I will tell you a few more of them. But this is sort of nothing new. This is all stuff that you can really easily find on the internet. I've kindly supplied this in this box just so that we can all be slightly aware. Because this is primarily meant for children, it's a good way of teaching our next generation how to look after our creatures and our world and nature. It's definitely a lot cooler here, which is fantastic, but if it's still sunny where you are, I hope you are enjoying the shade, and I will see you next time. Bye!